Okay, check the answer to homework question. Question number 14. See, in question 14, what was asked? In an order of assessment for AY 23-24, the assessee noticed a mistake for which application under section 154 was moved. Tell me, whenever we see section 154, immediately what you should think? Definitely there should be some apparent mistake which is not debatable, very obvious mistake. So there was a mistake which assessee noticed, so he moved an application. See, what do you mean by moved an application? Filed an application. See, whenever you come across such words, you should notice and observe, and you should add in your dictionary in your mind, because you can write such words in paper, na? Instead of writing filed an application, what you can write? He moved an application. See, it is just about observation. Some people just read it casually, understood. Some people notice, oh, moved an application. So I will also write this way in exam. He moved an application. So application was moved and order was rectified. Means rectification also was done. Huh? Subsequently, the assessee moved further application for rectification under section 154, which was rejected by AO on the ground that order once rectified cannot be rectified again. Is the contention of AO correct? Is what AO is saying, one time you did rectification, you cannot come for rectification again and again. So is AO right? He is wrong. You can go for multiple times to AO. Whenever there is a mistake, you can apply for rectification. There is no restriction that you can come only once. In fact, when you go for rectification of rectified mistake, you get extended 4 years time. That's what I explained in the last lecture, correct? So in short, the contention of AO is not correct, because a rectified mistake can be further rectified. And in further rectification, the time limit of 4 years shall be reckoned. What do you mean by shall be reckoned? Shall be reckoned means shall be calculated, counted. By heart such words, some words I want you to literally by heart it. What did I say? When rectified mistake is further rectified, the time limit of 4 years shall be reckoned, shall be counted from end of the year when rectified order was passed. Then question 15 was a normal question of testing your time limits. See what was given, specify the last date by which following action should be taken. See, they have given several actions in the question, you have to specify the time limit. So see, what is the first action? Service of notice under 143(2) in respect of AY 26-27 to an assessee who filed the return on 24th October. So tell me, what is the action here? Service of notice. And for this action, what should be the last date? What is the time limit for 143(2)? Within 3 months from the end of the year when return is filed. Remember, 143 time limit is calculated from filing of return. So here, when did assessee file the return? 24th October. So end of the year is 31st of March 27. After that, 3 months means 30th of June 27. So this is the last date by which notice should be served, or you can say notice should be received by the assessee. Okay. So answer is 30th June. Then application for rectification of mistake in an order passed under section 147 on 3rd May 24 in respect of previous year 22-23. See, order was in respect of previous year 22-23 and the passing date is 3rd May 24. So now what action we want to take? We want to apply for rectification. So tell me, what is the time limit for application for rectification? Within 4 years. Remember, in 4 years you have to apply, in 6 months you get reply. But you don't have to mention about reply. The question is talking about apply. So application should be done within 4 years from the end of the year when order containing mistake was passed. So in short, here what is the time limit? End of the year, 4 years from the end of the year when order was passed. So when was the order passed? 3rd May 24. So first you have to find end of the year. End of this year is 31st March 25, correct? And then after that add 4 years. When will 4 years expire? 31st March 29. Means till 31st March 29 you can make an application. 31st March 29. Then what was the third point? Issue of notice under 148 on discovery of an escaped income of 90,000 in respect of previous year 21-22 of an assessee whose original assessment was completed on 4th July 23. So tell me, what is the time limit for issue of notice under 148? Sometimes 3 years, 3 months, sometimes 5 years, 3 months, and sometimes no time limit. Generally 3 years, 3 months. But if the escaped income is 50 lakhs or more, 5 years, 3 months, and if reopening is directed by appeal authority, no time limit. So check, this is which case? This is a normal case. In fact, they have also mentioned the amount of escaped income, which is not more than, it's less than 50 lakhs. So time limit is 3 years, 3 months. But 3 years, 3 months from the end of relevant AY. From the end of relevant AY. So see here, the escaped income pertains to the previous year 21-22. So this becomes AY 22-23. Why I am finding AY? Because counting is from end of AY. And from AY 22-23, if you count 3 years, 3 months, it comes to 31st. See, first 3 years will be 31st March 26. And then 3 years, 3 months. So it will become 30th June 26. Sorry, 30th June 26. That should be the last date of issuing notice under 148. Okay. 30th June 26. See, all the time limits, the main challenge is you have to count from where. 3 years, 3 months becomes memorable. But what goes out of memory? 3 years, 3 months from where? From the end of relevant AY. And if you put special efforts on the base from which the time is counted, you will remember. Point D, passing of order under section 147 in respect of AY 23-24 in case of Mr. X, who was served notice under 148 on 30th November 25. Means here they want us to show the time limit of passing order under 147. Tell me, what is the time limit for passing order under 147? 12 months from the end of the year in which notice under 148 was received by the assessee. So when was notice received by the assessee? 148 notice? 30th November 25. So from the end of the year. So end of this year will be 31st March 26. After that 12 months you have to add. So that comes to 31st March 27. So latest by 31st March 27, order under 147 should be passed. Then passing order under 143 in respect of AY 26-27 of Mr. Y, who was served notice under 143-2 on 4th June 27. See what they are saying? Notice was given to him on 4th June 27. Now when should the order under 143 should be passed? So what is the time limit for regular assessment? 12 months from the end of AY. So what is the AY? 26-27. So 12 months from the end of 26-27 means 31st March 28. Because end of this AY is 31st March 27, right? 12 months will be 31st March 28. See, they are purposely giving some unwanted information. Huh? You should not get carried away. Don't go as per the sum, go as per our system. Our system says regular assessment 12 months from the end of AY. So see, in this question, all typical time limits were tested. Next was question 17. In question 17, what was given? Return for AY 26-27 was filed on time as per section 139(1). And the proceeding were taken up for assessment under section 143. His assessment started, return was filed on time, assessment started under 143 means regular assessment. Later on, the assessee noticed certain omissions, therefore filed a revised return on 20th Feb 27. But the AO, ignoring the revised return so filed, framed the order. See, one more word you notice, framed the order. Don't we say passed the order? You can also say framed the order. Frame means to make the order, okay? So, what happened? AO ignored the revised return and framed the order. So, is the action of AO correct? What was the action of AO? Ignoring the revised return and passing the order. This was the action. Now, what are they asking? Is the action right or wrong? Can AO ignore the revised return? Generally, revised return should not be ignored, but revised return should be filed on time. Na? What is the time for revised return? Latest up to 31st December of the AY. Okay. Or before completion of assessment, which is earlier. So, see, assessment completion is this date. Correct? Order was passed on this date. But what is the other deadline? 31st December of the AY. So, tell me what is the AY? What is the AY? 26, 27. So, 31st December of the AY means 31st December 26. So, either this or assessment completion date is this, whichever is earlier. So, what is early? 31st December 26. So, revising of return should happen latest up to 31st December 26. But assessee filed revised return when? On 20th Feb 27. That means revised return was on time or late. It's late. Because see, you can revise the return, that's okay. But revising the return also has a deadline, na? And the deadline is 31st December 26 in this case. And assessee revised after that. So if you revise after 31st December, obviously your AO will ignore the revised return. So AO is not wrong, he is right. So see, is the action of AO correct? It's correct. But you cannot just write correct. You have to explain the reason. See, here mainly you have to explain the time limit for revised return. What you should write as per section 139(5), section for revised return. A return can be revised latest up to 31st December of the AY or before completion of assessment, which is earlier. And here 31st December of the AY is 31st December 26. However, the assessee has filed a revised return after that. That is on 20th Feb 27. Hence, the revised return is not on time. So, the action of AO of ignoring the revised return is correct. See, basically in the answer, you have to explain the provision and you have to justify your answer. That why AO's action is correct, because the revised return of assessee came after 31st December. So, if AO ignores the revised return, he is right. So, this was question number 17. See, in question 18, they have given details of two assessees. Just see what I am showing on the screen. Huh? Question talks about two assessees. One is Mr. Naksh, other is Mr. Ramesh. And for both the assessee, see, I hope you have done the homework now, so I am directly talking. So there are two assessees in the question, Naksh and Ramesh. And in respect of both the assessee, income tax department got some information about income escaping. How do I know they got information? See, I have highlighted the word information. Information means for Naksh also department received information. See, information means something from rough CAs. And for Ramesh also information was received. Okay. It is just in case of Naksh, information was received as per risk management strategy. And for that was for Naksh. For Ramesh, they are not saying how the information came, but some information was there. Okay. So in short, it is a question of income escaping where two escaped assessees are caught by the government, and for both of them, government has information. Now, for Naksh, the information pertains to AY 22-23, 23-24, 24-25, 25-26. Means for 4 assessment years, department got some information about he hiding the income. Maybe he might have hidden some income. So government got the information, but it was for which year? 4 different years. And even for Ramesh, information was received for 2 years. Here, did you read what was given? Just read this Ramesh part. Ramesh, who is engaged in the trading of commodities, the assessing officer has in his possession certain documents showing information pertaining to shares of the value 28 lakhs purchased in 1920 and shares of the value of 21 lakhs purchased in 2021. Tell me, how can these information show income escapement? You understood what they are writing? Assessing officer got some documents. Read the word documents. And that document gave information about what? That he had purchased shares. So what's the problem in purchasing the shares? Everyone purchases the shares, huh? But see, to purchase the shares, you need money. And money doesn't come from the sky. You earn. And when you earn, you have to pay tax. He didn't pay tax. How do I know he didn't pay tax? You have to understand the tone of the question. Huh? They are saying, AO got information. AO got information means you didn't show, na? He came to know. Otherwise, why would they write AO got some documents giving information? You have to understand the tone of the question. Basically, you know what they are trying to say? Ramesh had purchased shares twice. And shares are purchased with money. And that money should be his income. On that income, he didn't pay the tax. If he would have paid the tax, he would have disclosed his shares. Like, see, when I earn my income, I pay the tax. And if I buy these shares with my income, I will disclose in my returns. In my balance sheet, I will show investments. Tell me what honest assessees do. They earn income, they pay tax, and with that income, they invest in mutual fund, share market, and they disclose in the balance sheet also. But how do I know he didn't disclose? Understand the tone. AO has some documents. He got some document. And the word information is generally used in income escaping assessment procedures only, no? So in short, you know, this is a case where 28 lakhs and 21 lakhs value shares were purchased. So if the shares value is 28, 21, definitely that much income you should have earned. Because see, today if I say I bought one iPhone for 1 lakh. So 1 lakh, who gave me? I should have earned, na? So that's my income. You might say iPhone is not income, but to buy iPhone you need money, na? So similarly, shares is not income, but to buy shares you need income, and their income amount was 28, 21. That escaped. But these escaped income pertains to which year? One pertains to 1920, other pertains to 2021. Now, what is the question, you know? See, there are several questions. First, read only this part. Can the AO issue notice under section 148 to Naksh and Ramesh in April 26? See, AO is proposing to issue notice in April 26. But can he issue notice in April 26? Means imagine you are in April 26. So in the month of April 26, if I want to issue notice to these two guys, can I issue? Firstly, why I want to issue notice? Because I got information about income escapement. So obviously the action is I have to issue notice. And see, directly they are talking about 148. That means they are trying to say you forget about show cause notice. Because question wants to test you on 148. Actually, technically speaking, for income escaping, step 1 is 148A show cause notice. But they are not talking about that. So let it be. Question is to be answered for what they want, na? They want you to answer on 148 notice can be issued or not as on April. So now we have to check if as on April 26 the time has expired. What your answer should be, it cannot be issued. But if in April 26, if the time is still going on, we can issue. Which time? What is the time for notice under 148? 3 years, 3 months, or 5 years, 3 months, depending upon the size of escaped income. So see, this can be better understood with my notes here. See, I have just plotted the question as it is. For Naksh, we got information for 4 AYs. Now, they have not given the size of the income. Huh? In case of Naksh, they have not mentioned the amount. You noticed that or not? You might have done the homework. For Ramesh, amount was given also 28, 21. But for Naksh, amount was not given. So, we have to assume it's less than 50 lakhs. And less than 50 lakhs means 3 years, 3 months. So see, notice under 148 can be issued till 3 years, 3 months from, this time is from the end of relevant AY. So see, all the relevant AYs are in front of us. So calculate the time limit. First calculate the time limit for AY 22-23. 3 years, 3 months. So first 3 years will end on 31st March 26 and plus 3 more months. So it will become 30th June 26. See, I have written here. And AO is proposing to issue notice when? April 26. So as on April 26, is the time limit, has the time limit expired or is still running? The time is still running because I want to issue in April and my deadline will go till June 26. So for AY 22-23, I can issue the notice. So see, I have put a tick mark. Tick means notice can be issued for AY 22-23. Then what about 23-24? This is 1 year ahead. So add one more year, na? No need to calculate again. Na? For the previous AY, the deadline was June 26. So this will be June 27. Now June 27 is also far away. We are proposing to issue notice when? April 26. So for April 26, the year 27 is yet to come. So for this also the time is still going on. See, when will you say notice cannot be issued if the time has passed away? Then we can say it's time barred. Then what about AY 24-25? Add one more year. So deadline for AY 24-25 is 30th June 28. Till 28 you can issue the notice. So obviously if you want to issue in 26, you can issue. So tick mark. Now what about AY 25-26? For AY 25-26, you know, answer is you cannot issue notice under 148 because 148 is for income escaping. When do you say escaping? If the timely action cannot be taken. So if the time for taking the action is still there, then you don't go to income escaping. No? The income escaping means when they feel you have escaped. But when do we say someone has escaped? If the time for doing regular assessment, best judgment has passed away. So tell me, AY 25-26 is a recent AY. So tell me, if I want to do regular assessment for 25-26, what is the time for regular assessment? 12 months from the end of AY. So from the end of AY, 12 months. If I calculate, it comes to 31st March 27. Means till 31st March 27, I can do regular assessment. And I told you earlier also, for income tax department, first priority is regular assessment or best judgment if assessee does not cooperate. But if the time is lost, then escaped category is taken up. Okay. So, but here you cannot say escaped, na? Because till 31st March 27, assessment can be done and we are planning to issue notice in April 26. In April 26, AY 25-26 cannot be said escaped. Tell me, can you call AY 24-25 escaped? Escape means if the time of doing regular assessment is lost. So tell me, what is the time for doing regular assessment of AY 24-25? 24-25 AY, huh? 12 months you add 31st March 26. So on 31st March 26, time of regular assessment has gone and we are in April 26. So in April, that year is escaped. So that's why we are planning 148 notice. Huh? 148 is for escaped people. But for AY 25-26, Naksh cannot be called escaped. Naksh is escaped for AY 22-23, 23-24, 24-25. But he is not escaped for AY 25-26 because the time is still there. So see, for this year, what is this? RABGA, regular assessment or best judgment, something can be done. Something means actually you don't have a choice. Huh? Best judgment can be done only if there is some defaults as mentioned in the law. Otherwise, regular assessment has to be done. And to do that, time is still there, na? Why did I put cross then? 148 cannot be issued. Because issuing 148 means you are treating him escaped. But he cannot be treated escaped. So this was for Naksh. And for Ramesh, in Ramesh's case, they have also given the amount of escaped income. And you know the rule, look, whenever the escaped income is 50 lakhs or more, you get extended time of 5 years, 3 months. I am saying 5 years, 3 months. Question is not on show cause notice. Question is on notice under 148. And 148, it is not just 5 years, it's 5 years, 3 months. But when do you take 5 years, 3 months as the time? When the escaped income is 50 lakhs or more. And 50 lakhs or more is a cumulative figure of several years. It's not per year. This is a new point we discovered. I didn't say this point while I was explaining 50 lakhs point. But here, because see, at that time, I would have taken more time to explain. In this sum, you can easily see the importance of cumulative. Cumulative means you will have to see particular year or multiple years. Multiple years means if 2-3 years together also make up 50 lakhs or more, the extended time limit will apply. So tell me, for Ramesh, which year's information was received? In the question for Ramesh, they have mentioned PY. Huh? Can you see PY 1920, PY 2021? So what I have done, first I have converted the PY into AY. Because our counting starts from the end of AY, na? That's why. So see, PY 1920, PY 2021 becomes AY 2021, AY 2122. So add both the amounts. For 1 year, the escaped amount is 28 lakhs. You understood, na? This is escaped amount. Actually, these were shares purchased. But to purchase the share, you need money. Money do not come from sky. You earn. So it's your earning only. But total of that is only 49 lakhs. Look, it is less than 50 lakhs. So less than 50 lakhs means what will be the time then? Time will be 3 years, 3 months only. If this amount would have been 50 lakhs or more, I would have said 5 years, 3 months. But here it is less than 50 lakhs. So I will say 3 years, 3 months. So go as per 3 years, 3 months. So tell me, for AY 2021, when will 3 years, 3 months expire? You have to count from the end of AY. End of AY is 31st March 21, na? And 3 years, 3 months is 30th June 24. And 30th June 24 has expired as on April 26. See, we are proposing to issue in April 26. And as on April 26, this has become dead past. So see, I have written the cutoff also. And I put a cross mark sign indicating notice cannot be issued because the deadline has crossed. And for other year also, the deadline has crossed on 30th June 25, only the time has expired. And we are in April 26. So here also cannot be issued. But see, in the question, those who did the homework genuinely, you might have seen they have made one change in the question. What is the change, you know? What if these figures change? See, the changed figures are like this. If 30 lakhs and 21 lakhs are the amounts instead of 28 and 21, then my total comes to 51 lakhs, which is greater than equal to 50 lakhs. So accordingly, notice under 148 can be issued till 5 years, 3 months. So look here, 5 years, 3 months. So now my measurement will be 5 years, 3 months. So see, in this add 5 years. In 21, if you add 5 years, it will be 26. And we will call it as 30th June 26. Because in March, 5 years will expire. We want 5 years, 3 months. So 30th June 26 is the last date. And we are in April only. We are before 30th June. So we are within the time. So notice can be issued. Can be issued means tick mark. See, I put a tick mark here. Similarly, for AY 21-22 also, What is the time deadline? 30th June 27, and we are in April 26, so we are within the time. So notice can be issued. Okay. Then there was one more question they asked. Is it necessary that they be provided an opportunity of being heard before issuing the notice? Yes. Means they are talking about, is it necessary to do step 1? Remember I gave 4 steps in income escaping. So indirectly they are asking what? Is it necessary to do step 1? Step 1 is what? Giving opportunity of being heard only in that show cause notice. What is the answer? Is it necessary? Yes. Step 1 is not required only when the information comes from faceless collection of information. But here they have not mentioned that we got the information through faceless COI. That's not mentioned. Huh? So, opportunity being heard should be given by issuing show cause notice. That's it. All the points I have answered. So, these were the homework question. Okay, now see, check the status of the chapter. We have done part 1 returns, then we did part 2 inquiry, we did assessment also, and in other sections, we did 4 sections. 154 rectification, 156 notice of demand, 144A power of JC to issue directions, 145 method of accounting. Okay. Updated return I did last, but that was part of the returns theory I did later. But technically in other sections we have got 154, 156, 144A power of JC to issue direction, 145 method of accounting. That much I did. Na? Now in other section there is one more section. One more very interesting section. Look. Section 292 double B. Suddenly the section number is of a different family only. 292 double B. Even this section has made some provision for assessment procedures. Our topic is assessment procedure, correct? So in this family, this section is also there, 292 double B. You know, this section is about income tax notices. Which notice? Any. It's a general section. See, there are several notices in income tax, like RAI notice, then show cause notice in best judgment, then show cause notice in income escaping 148A, then notice under 148, notice requiring the assessor to attend the office 143.2. So in short, till now only you have seen several notices. Later on also you will come across other notices. But do you agree in income tax there are many notices? Now, for all the notices, one general rule. See, what is the general rule? If a notice is improperly served means it was served on wrong address, it was served with the wrong name, like instead of Shirish Vyas, they were given notice to Girish Vyas, means the letter came to me, I am Shirish Vyas, but they wrote Girish Vyas, it's not properly served. Or some notices I should receive on a particular date, but I received little late. So notice came, but it came on time or it came late. It came late. Like see 143.2. 143.2 should be received by the assessee within 3 months from the end of the return is filed. But they issued within 3 months. I received in 4th month. Na? So that is also case of improperly served. So see, improperly served can be served at a wrong address, wrong name, wrong address, whatever, or not served on time. In short, they have issued, but I was not served properly. I am served properly means I am given on time with my proper name, address, then I will say it's served properly. But sometimes the notices are improperly served. You know, in such cases, what law says? If you feel the notice was not properly served, okay, then you can object. You can challenge the notice, but you have to object before AO passes the order. Before AO passes the order. Like see, if this notice is 143.2. So after 143.2 notice, which order AO will pass? 143.3 regular assessment. So what law says? If you feel the notice was not properly served on you, you can challenge. But you should challenge before AO passes the order. Otherwise, you know, in real life, many times what has happened, look, very interesting, huh? In real life, many assessors, you know what they did? When they got the notice under 143.2, they actually received after 3 months. 143.2 should be received within 3 months, but it was actually received after 3 months. But he did not take it seriously. He responded to the notice. 143.2 requires you to attend. He attended also. He had a discussion with AO. He had several meetings. Order was also passed. Now, just because assessee did not like the order, now assessee is starting his tantrums. I don't believe in this order. You didn't give me the notice only on time. So everything is invalid. Suddenly he is arguing that you didn't give me the notice within 3 months. You sent me the notice little late. So all this problem which you have, you should have raised earlier, na? When the notice came late, that time only you should have objected. But that time you didn't object. You attended the office. You had discussion with AO. Now just because the order is passed and you are not liking the order, you are starting your tantrums. That's not fair. See, we are not saying that proceedings should go with improper notices. Notice has to be proper. But see, whether it is proper or not, you know, na. Department is under the impression that we did the work properly. See, it's about service of notice. Service means when I will be able to point out the defect. Because see, IT department, many times, within 3 months, they send the notice. And they will feel notice will reach properly, notice will reach properly. But it reached late. Assessee knows now. So you have to object. Because department will always be under the impression we gave the notice to the right person, right address, in right time. They have that impression. You have the problem, you raise the problem, but when to raise? Before AO passes the order. After AO passes the order, you cannot challenge the notice. Then notice will be deemed to be proper. This is written in 292 BB. Because it's very natural. It might have, see, I know my name very well, Shirish Vyas. Don't call me anything, I am Shirish. I know I am attached with my name. But for department, Shirish, Girish, Virish, everything same. What difference it makes? For them, it's a person, assessee. So they might have casually written Girish Vyas. Or in short, anything improper might have happened from their end. So I have to raise the objection in advance. So look, if the notice is improperly served, assessee should object. Read the word before AO passes the order. That means before AO passes the order, you didn't object. And now after passing of the order, you are filing an appeal. For what? The notice was not proper. So that appeal is also rejected. Because appeal means challenging the order of AO. But that challenging thing you have right. But when? Before AO passes the order. And see what is written here. Otherwise means if you don't challenge before, notice is deemed to be valid as per section 292 BB. See, actually this section makes deeming provision. This says all the notices, even if they are not proper, we'll assume they are proper if you don't challenge in advance. But see, this section is very old, but in one case law, there was a different situation only. There was one person, Lakshman Das Khandelwal. In his case, department did not issue the notice only. See, this is a case when notice was issued from the side of department. I was not served properly. See, there are two parties, department and assessee. So in the first case, the left hand side, department issued it, but I was not served properly. But now see the right hand side of the chart, department didn't issue only. And imagine, department did not issue me the notice and I cooperated in the assessment procedure. Means formally I didn't get any notice letter, but still I cooperated with the proceedings. Now later on I am not liking the order. I can challenge such order afterwards also. See, these problems are serious problems because department is not doing the work properly. Here at least department had sent the notice. It was not properly served on the assessee, but it was sent properly. So department gets protection. But here the department has made gross negligence, not issuing the notice and directly doing the work. Then here assessee has got full right to challenge He can challenge before AO passes the order also. He can challenge afterwards also. See, think logically, it's very easy to digest if you understand the concept. See, not issuing the notice means AO is completely at fault. So here assessee gets full power. He can say, I can object such assessment. Object means what? You can say all this assessment is to be scrapped. I will not count such assessment. Whatever you want to charge me, I will not pay. You can always challenge. And that challenging can be done before also. Before what? Before AO passes the order. And it can be done after AO passes the order. Anytime you can challenge. And section 292BB does not protect this situation. Why do I say it does not protect? See, not issuing the notice is not done. It's bad. No one can protect such types of AO who do not know how to do the work. But 292BB protects this situation. Because in this situation, at least department had issued the notice. I didn't get on time. I got at wrong address. All that problem I only know. Na? How will poor AO know? So see, Lakshman Das Khandelwal is a famous case law. Here Supreme Court gave the judgment. You know here what was the argument? What was the stand of department in the appeal? Yes, what was the stand of department in the appeal? They were using this section only. They were saying, Lakshman Das, you should have objected before. In this case, actually what happened? He objected after AO passed the order. So department was fierce. Department said, you cannot object afterwards. Whatever problem you have, you should have objected before. I mean, they were holding this section. Who? Department. But Supreme Court said, dear department, this section will protect a situation where you people had issued the notice, but it was not properly served. But when you don't only issue the notice, you only don't issue the notice, you are never protected. And assessee has got right to object before also, after also. See, this is the main point. Here you should object. See, object means what you will do. See, if I object means what? I will say, scrap this notice, I will not come to your office, I will not cooperate. Because object means this is the way you have to object. Okay. And object after means what? File an appeal. Because see, order has been passed. Now you want to object, you can file an appeal. And your reason for appeal will be, the order is invalid because I was not given the notice only. In short, here you have to object before, here you can object before also, after also. So this is one good section, very important section from exam point of view. Okay. Now, after this, look here. See, today at the end of the lecture, when I give you the homework, one question will test this point also. So remember this properly. What was the section you have to remember? 292BB. And what was the case law? Lakshman Das Khandelwal Supreme Court judgment. But that is for a case when notice was not issued only. Okay. Anyways, whether the case of this type, it will be mentioned in the question. You have to simply identify in the sum. If it is this situation, your answer will go in this lines. If it is this situation, your answer will go in this lines. Okay. Then, summary of the chapter. Winding up ceremony. Winding up ceremony. Chapter is over. So tell me this. Actually, technically, chapter is not over. We have got still questions left. Good questions left. Good. Not just question. Good questions are left in our book. Okay. Which also I will be doing. But first I will give you homework. You will try and then I will discuss. So that homework part is still remaining. But technically the theoretical part is over. Okay. Now tell me, how did I teach this chapter? First I explained several sections on returns. Then inquiry. Then assessment. Then other section. Now tell me, inside return, what I have explained? Voluntary return, loss return, belated return, revised return, defective return, self-assessment, even updated return. I took up later on, but it's from the family of returns. So see, voluntary return, loss return, belated return, revised return, defective return, updated return and self-assessment. Then in inquiry, which sections were there? 142.1, 142.2 and 142.2a. 142.1 RAI notice, 142 to information from other sources. 142 to a special audit. Then in assessment, summary assessment. 143 regular assessment. 143 to 143 best judgment assessment. 144 then income escaping assessment. Even income escaping assessment was not short theory, huh? It was in 4 parts. Meaning, then condition, rough CAs, procedures and notes, OT Gadar. And then one more section was there, section 153. Time limit for completing the assessment. Other section what was taught? 154 rectification, 156 notice of demand, 144A power of JC to issue directions, 145 method of accounting, then 292 double B, right now I explained. Improper notice can be deemed as valid if you don't object in advance. But notice not sent only is never done. It can be objected earlier also, afterwards also. So this is 292 double B last section. Now, after this see, there is one general concept which I will discuss now. This concept will help you in solving the homework question which I will give. And this concept is not covered in any section. This concept which I am going to discuss now, it is discovered in several case laws. Okay. So this case law knowledge I am giving so that you will be able to do my homework. Because see, if you have the knowledge, then in the homework, if you have to apply the knowledge, you will understand whether you are able to apply it or not. Okay. So see, try this question. First you try on your own. Whenever I file the return and I miss to claim something, so what should be done? Tell me. Obviously revise the return. Like see, I filed a return and I forgot to set off the loss. I had some loss I forgot to set off. Or I made some investment of ATC. In ATC, what investments are a deposit in PPF, purchase of National Savings Certificate, LIC premium. So I forgot to claim ATC. So whenever you miss something in the return, what do you do? You revise the return. But there are many cases in real life, the time for revising return is gone. What is the deadline for revising the return? 31st of December of the AY. But 31st December has passed away. So you know when many assessors what they do? They request assessing officer. When scrutiny starts, they say, dear AO, imagine the meeting of assessing AO. In the meeting, they request AO, sir, actually I had some loss which I forgot to set off and could not even revise the return. And revising the return deadline of 31st December is gone. I am requesting you, please give me my set off, please give me my chapter 6A. So any type of pleading will not be entertained. Law has strictly warned AO, if assessee misses something, he has to revise the return. But if he fails to revise the return, don't get sentimental, don't get emotional with him. Whatever he is requesting, don't allow him. It is not his right. Because if he misses something in the return, he should revise the return. And when he is not revising the return, it's his problem. And see, here a student might think, but sir, we cannot be so harsh, na? They have to be harsh. Because see, if they become lenient with everyone, okay, it's okay, you missed to revise the return, I'll do it. I'll give you the set off, I'll give you the chapter 6A. So this way, you know, people will never come in discipline. But what I'm trying to say, if law wants to create discipline in people, they have to be strict. Strict in what sense? That if you missed something in the return, you have to revise only. And if you fail to revise, that's your problem. Now you cannot plead the assessing officer. See, when you are pleading, you know, in scrutiny, I am talking about a case when AO and assessee are meeting in face to face. That time assessee might request. Okay. And you know, this case which I am discussing, there have been many case laws in real life. Many times in the real life, assessee has requested, some assessee write a letter, dear assessing officer, I failed to revise the return, but I had a genuine claim of set off, blah, 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 please give me. Some people write the letter, some people discuss in the meeting. Many cases of this kind has happened. But every time law is strict, no means no. And here there is a famous case law, Gates India Limited. Gates, spelling is little weird, huh? This is pronounced as Gets India Limited. In this, Supreme Court gave the judgment. The Supreme Court also gets frustrated when they have to see repeated case laws. What repeated? Every time assessee misses something, he fails to revise the return, now he's pleading. And they feel bad when they are not allowed. See, why assessee feels bad? He thinks, what is the problem? Like, see, if my student enters the class, my lecture time is 7 o'clock. If he enters at 7:02 or 7:05, I may not allow, but student will feel bad now. What is the problem is, sir, just 5 minutes, what difference it makes? This is the way a student will react, obviously, no? So people also react like this. I missed to revise the return, but what is the problem? And what I am claiming is genuine. He should give me, no? So this way people feel frustrated. So they keep filing cases. But out of frustration, Supreme Court also said, now you keep in mind, if you fail to revise the return, you cannot request AO and AO will not give you anything. If you want something, you revise your return. So now it has become a very famous case law. Which case? Gets India Limited. But see, here there is one more point. See, this is for the claims missed in the return. But sometimes, you have missed something, but it is understood that you should get it. So see what I was saying, sometimes you missed something in the return, but it is understood that you should get it. Like I gave the example of I had some rent income in my return, rent from a house property. So tell me, from every rent income in house property, it is understood to have 30% standard deduction. If that you missed, AO cannot behave rudely. That's your problem. See, rent income is subject to a standard deduction that he knows. So your assess, in fact, AO should help. In fact, even if assessee doesn't claim, it is a duty of the AO to say, Arey, you didn't claim 30% standard deduction. You are eligible for that. Take deduction. Means for something which is known to AO, that for every rent income there is some standard deduction. Even if assessee forgets, even if he is not able to recall now, even if he doesn't claim, still AO is bound to help the assessee. Like see, in one case, what happened? There was some brought forward loss. Keep in mind, brought forward, not the current year's loss. Brought forward loss, which I missed to set off in the current year's income. Brought forward loss, you can adjust in my current year income, na? But I missed to set off the brought forward loss. And I filed a return. And I could not even revise the return because 31st December passed away. Now I am requesting AO. Dear AO, there is some brought forward loss. I forgot. Please give me. Please give me. So what should be AO's reaction, He should give. Because brought forward loss is known to AO. It's not the fresh loss which I should have intimated him. See, if I have some new loss with me, how will they come to know that you have a loss? If you have a loss, show us, na? Either in the return, you miss in the return, revise it, na? But you show, then only we know. You show, then only we know. But showing is for the fresh current loss. But in one case, what happened? Assessee was having not the fresh loss, some old loss, which is brought forward from past years. So tell me, brought forward loss is known to the department. Why it is known? Because it is a loss of past year, na? So past year return I had filed. And since past year return I have filed, so in their data, in this system of department, they might have recorded my loss. That loss, if I have forgotten, they have to allow me. See, something like which I have to inform them, and if I forget, then they will become very rude. Why didn't you tell us? You could have revised. Why didn't you revise? That's your problem. Now suddenly you cannot bring fresh claims. See, there are two types of claims, fresh claims and known claims. Fresh claim means what? Something fresh which other person will not know unless I say. Like see, I have made several investment for chapter 6. I made, you will come to know when I inform, no? You means department. Like I suffered loss in my business. I know. You will come to know when I show it. So these are called fresh things. Fresh things which only you are aware. You have to tell us either in the main return or in the revised return. But if you missed it, nothing will happen now. And what was the other thing? This is fresh claims, known claims. Known claims means there are some claims which even if I don't tell you, you know it. Like my brought forward loss, even if in the return I forget to minus the brought forward loss, it is a loss of past year, na? So past year's return is there in your system, na? So that you know, na? Then rent income standard deduction, it's a standard rule in the law. You also know, na? So see, some things which department knows, here they cannot behave rudely. That you should have taken, you should have taken. What you should have taken? I forgot, then you give me, na? You to know, na? Yeah, something which I am supposed to tell you, like some current year's fresh loss. It's the loss is freshly emerged. So I have to tell you. Or I have made some chapter 6 thing, I have to tell you. Something which I have to tell you. If I don't tell, then you can behave harsh. So see, look at one chart here. See this portion. Look. Claims missed in the return made by assessee before AO. Before AO means you are sitting in front of AO and you are requesting him. Imagine a meeting of AO, assessee, they are meeting. So you are sitting in front of AO and you are making some fresh claims. What do you mean by fresh? Something which only I know. I might be very genuine, like loss. It's a genuine loss. But since it's a fresh loss, it's only I know. So for them, it's a fresh thing. So they are called fresh claims. Okay. So for fresh claims, what is the rule? AO will not allow, because suddenly new things you cannot bring. See, actually AO doesn't mind giving you also. But if they behave leniently, people will forget the discipline. Na? So for something totally fresh, you want it, you should have taken it in the return or revised return. But AO will not allow from his side. So what is written? AO will not allow without revised return. The only remedy is to revise the return. And if you forgot it, that's your problem. They will be strict on this. If it is a fresh claim. This was decided in Gates India Limited, Supreme Court judgment, very famous. Now, imagine you are sitting in front of AO and there is something which is not a fresh claim. Otherwise means it is not falling in fresh claim. That means it is known claim. What is the opposite of fresh claim? Known whom? Known to the department. What example I gave? That house property has got standard deduction. The whole world knows. Obviously, they also know. Brought forward losses. Brought forward losses is the loss of fresh year or old year. Old year, and old year's returns are there in their system. So that's also known. So for the known things, see what is written. It is the duty of the AO to help the assessee in claiming the relief. Means here it's totally opposite. What I am saying? Forget assessee requesting. It's the duty of the AO only. Assessee requesting, AO has to give only. Even if assessee doesn't request, it is the duty of the AO to provide him. Means as a genuine assessing officer, even if I don't say my brought for loss give me, still he should give me. Saying what? Oh Shirish, you have some old losses. You didn't take it. You can take it, na? Okay, I'll give you. It is his duty because it is something known to them. Means they cannot behave like, some people behave cheaply. Even if they don't, why will I tell on my own? They have to behave matured way. See, sometimes, immaturity says what? Why should I tell on my own? He has forgotten, let him forget. Government will get more revenue. That's not the way AO has to behave. So if AO knows that assessee is a fool, he didn't take his old losses, and that old losses, government also knows, na? Because old losses of past year's return is there. So that they should on their own help us to claim it. This was instructed by CBDT. Long back, CBDT had issued a circular. What is CBDT? Central Board of Direct Taxes. Long back, CBDT had issued a circular. You know why CBDT had to issue circular? Because such cases repeatedly happened. And you know, many people misunderstand this with what? Gates India Limited. Like, see the example which I gave, na? Which example? Brought for loss was there. Here AO was saying, no, I will not allow, I will not, because you didn't revise the return. Means some people, you know, they misunderstand Gates India. See, Gates India judgment says what? If something is totally fresh thing, AO will not allow. But brought forward loss is a fresh thing or a known thing. It's known to them. So things which are known to them, they have to allow. It is their duty. This was clarified by CBDT. Okay. Right now, what did I say? If there is something totally fresh which I want to claim, the only way is what? Claim it in the original return. If you forgot, revise it. If you still forgot, you revise multiple times, but till 31st December. After that, AO will not allow. Didn't I say that? But this restriction is when you are sitting in front of AO. But when you are sitting in front of appeal authorities, they have got full powers. Means even if something fresh is there, which you never showed in the return, which only you know, even thus such fresh claims can be requested in front of appeal authorities. See, appeal authorities have got broad powers. And see, logic is what, you know, appeal authority, when a person goes for appeal, when he's genuinely affected. So if appeal people also behaves like this, then what is the use? See, in a corporate culture also, if someone talks to a junior level officer, so junior level has a limitation. No, I cannot do this, and not in my powers. But when you go to senior authority, he has got more powers. Huh? I'm just talking about in general day-to-day life also. In day-to-day life also, when you request someone, and when you are dealing with a junior person, he will say, no, I have my own boundaries. I cannot cross. So what you do next? You go to higher level, because higher level has got higher authorities. So like the example which I gave, that some chapter 6 I missed, and there was some fresh loss. See why I'm hammering on fresh loss? Because fresh loss is a fresh claim, which only I know. So there was some chapter 6 which I missed, and I deserve it. And there was some fresh loss which I missed to set off. Such fresh things AO will not allow. See, I have written AO will not allow, but appeal authorities will allow. See the full chart now. If you make such claim before appellate authority means what? Who are there in appeal? CETA, I.Tax, High Court, Supreme Court. I told you one lecture, na? So there if you request, they will allow. Because they are higher authorities. So see what I have written. They may allow. Here also they may allow. If they feel, means here also you cannot sit with the right. You have to give me this thing. They may allow if they feel it's genuinely deserving case. Okay. And you know, this situation also happened in a real life in one case. Prithvi stock brokers. Prithvi brokers and shareholders. This is the name of the assessee. In this case, you know, appeal authorities allowed something. Okay. So assessee was happy. So you know, whenever assessee is happy, department appeals. In appeal chapter, I will explain, whenever assessee wins the case, assessee's victory is department's defeat. And the defeated department also has right to appeal. So here, you know, Prithvi brokers got the help. So then in counter appeal, it was decided, no, the help which Prithvi brokers got was genuine. Why it was genuine? Because appeal authorities can allow something which you missed in the return. Even though it's totally fresh thing, not known to anyone, you are claiming for the first time. Appeal authorities will allow. So see, actually what I've done, I did a great research on this. See, you are getting a ready-made chart. But I have seen several situations in life. See, so many years of teaching has happened. So I saw several situations, several case laws I have read. And based on that, I have created my own chart. This is technically not some section I'm teaching, but see, sections are on one side, but real life is totally different. So in real life, several issues happen. So the crux of that is given in the form of a chart. And this is tried, tested and trusted. This chart you can use in any situation. See, whenever you come across a case when something is missed in the return, imagine you're a chartered accountant and your client is asking you, I missed this loss set of blah blah blah. See, what do you mean by claims? Claims can be some exemption, some chapter 6A set off, the benefits which assessee get. So whenever your client says, I missed this, so what will you ask? See, if we are sitting in front of AO, your advice should be like this. If we are sitting in front of AO and if we totally claim something fresh, fresh means which only you know, no, the world will not know. Like I have my loss in coaching class, I know, world will not know, na? I know my losses. So if something fresh is there, what will you advise your client? AO will not entertain. Whatever you do, he will not entertain. Yes, bribe and all is a different thing. Let's not talk about that in study, okay? That's a real life. But officially, AO will not allow. Do whatever you want, he will not allow because he will stick to the judgment of Supreme Court in Gets India Limited. But yes, if something you missed in the return and it is not a fresh thing, it's known to the world, forget the world, known to the department. Like what example, like a standard deduction is known to the whole country. Obviously, they also know. Brought for a loss is known to them because it is a loss of old year, return of which was filed. So known claims he will allow. We can request also, even if we don't request, it is a duty of the AO to help as per CBDT circular. And when you are going to appeal authority, then there is no tension only. Whether it's a fresh claim, known claim, appeal authorities have got full power because you go to appeal when you're really in genuine pain. So they will allow. So see, we can make a trick now. This fresh claims, what is a tax planning you can do now? If for your client you want some fresh claim, what will you do? You know AO will not allow. Let him not allow. Go for appeal. This is a strategy you should adopt now. In case you have a client and he is saying there is some fresh claim. Fresh claim means some fresh loss you made. See, fresh claim can be anything. I'm just giving the example of loss again and again. There was some totally fresh loss which you missed to adjust it. And revising the return, everything has become time barred now. So what will you suggest to your client? See, trying in front of AO is in vain. He will not allow. But let him not allow. After that, we'll go to appeal. Appeal authorities, they have the discretion to allow. We'll request them. They will allow. And this is a trick which you should follow in real life. Okay. Now see, this chart which I discussed, you know why did I discuss now? Because this chart knowledge you will require in the homework question. And see, in the question, if you don't know the provisions only advanced, you will not feel good in solving the sum. Na? So now you will feel good in solving the sum. Now it is upon you to understand in which question, which point of this is tested. Technically, there were 3 points. 1, Gets India. 2nd, CBDT circular. 3rd, Prithvi stockbrokers. Okay. So there were 3 situations. Somewhere in the question you will find it. That hint I am giving you. Now you will have to identify which question is based on what. Okay. That you will do it on homework and then I will be discussing. Okay. So that's it. So here I will wind up the theory. Now see what sums are there in homework. Question 16 is left. Question 16 is your homework then. In fact, all the remaining sums are homework. But after 16 there is 19. 16, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Till 24. 16, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So many homework you will do. Okay, I'll do one thing. I will split it. Since the next lecture is tomorrow only. So, but you can do it. Actually, all these sums are small only. Means it is not that lengthy. It's better you do. One day you struggle. Because see, otherwise the rhythm will be disturbed, link will be disturbed, because these are such questions which you need to do today only, because that freshness is there na, because doing the right thing at right time has got a lot of importance. So the right time for these question is today only. If you try, it will have a great impact. Okay, so I know it will be little too much for you, but do it. In short, all the remaining sums are homework. Answer I'll be discussing tomorrow. Okay, but you manage to do it. Even if you're office for the whole day, you wake up at night. One day if you wake up till 2 or 3 o'clock, it will not affect you. Okay, you have to be aggressive. So all the remaining questions are for homework. Please do the homework. Please do the homework. Please revise and come. And after those homework sums are discussed, our topic of assessment procedure is over.